welcome to my channel, Everyday I'm Mothering. Today I'm actually planning out my first month of homeschool. So I thought this would be a really neat thing just to show you what my thought process looks like and how I lay everything out. That's one of the questions I get the most, is about how we structure our day. I just want to take you along so you can see exactly how I go about planning this out at the beginning of the year. We typically start homeschool in September, so I'm at crunch time where I need to actually lay out what we're going to be doing. Get a general idea of what each week's going to look like, break it down by day, and also get an idea of how I think the morning and afternoon is going to go. I've said this before in some of my other videos. I don't necessarily like an hour by hour schedule. It just doesn't really seem to work out well for us. It feels a little too structured, so if I get off, I get really anxious about it. I like more of just a general approach to blocks of time, but I really do like the flexibility of going back and changing this. So I'll always just start by planning the first month, because I want to see how it goes, see if I want to make any tweaks before, I really lock myself into something with my planner. I like that thought of going in just temporarily, let's see if this works, and we can tweak it if we need to. This is my third year homeschooling, and what I like to do when I first start to think about what my schedule is going to look like for the year is just to sit down. I'll get my planner, and I actually have a video specifically about this planner, and I'll link it down below, but you can watch it if you want to get more details about this planner and how to actually customize it to work well for us, so you can see more details there. But I'll have my planner because that's what I'm going to be filling out. And then I'll also get any of the guidebooks for our curriculum. So this year we have our level 2 Torchlight. I have level K Torchlight. Then I have math for both girls. So I have RightStart Math A and C. And then I have English for both girls, Logic of English, A and D. If you're interested in hearing more about any of these curriculums, I have videos on all of these and even level specific ones for Torchlight. So I will link all those down below, but you can check out the math, English, and then of course Torchlight, which I love, and the level. So then I also have my planning notebook. I like to always just have a notebook where I'll jot down like ideas and thoughts that I have. And if I see like neat ideas suggested in some of my curriculum Facebook groups, I'll jot them down here. So I like just to have this as well. And then my favorite thing for filling out the planner are these erasable colored pens. And I really like having everything color coded by subject. It just helps me visually being able to see it. But I make mistakes when I write, and also things change. So I like that these can actually be erased. And I've used a couple different brands, but this one so far has been my favorite, and I'll link it down below too. I have all my supplies out, and I'm ready to really start looking at my schedule. Now, if you've been following along with my videos, you know that this year for me is a little bit different because I'll actually be teaching 2 different levels. In the past, it's just been my oldest, and my middle daughter's kind of just tagged along when she wanted and joined in. But this is the first year that I'm actually going to be doing 2 separate programs. My oldest daughter is 7, and she'll be going into what is like traditionally 2nd grade. And then my youngest is 5, so she's starting kindergarten this year. So they each do have a separate level for math, for English, and then I'm also doing separate levels for Torchlight. So I'm still thinking through what that's going to look like and how I'm going to lay it out. So you're going to see when I start to do this, I might change my mind some, because I'm still not 100% sure what that's going to look like for us. In the past, I've signed up the girls for enrichment tutorials throughout the week. So typically there's 1 or 2 days where in the morning time, I'm actually taking them and dropping them off for like usually science, PE, art classes, something like that. Well, this year we're not able to do that either. So on one hand, I'm really sad for them that we're not doing that. But on the other, I do know that that's going to open up a chunk of time right now for me. So I think it's really going to give me a little bit more flexibility in figuring out what we're going to do. So one of the reasons I like looking at days as chunks of time instead of hours, and I also have a toddler in the house. My 2-year-old is much more active this year. She's only taking 1 afternoon nap. So I don't know exactly how this is all going to go in the morning. So I really do need to just build in some flexibility there, depending on, what her mood's in or what we're going to be doing, that we may need to switch things up. And if I lock myself so much into these hour time frames, then I feel like I lose out on some flexibility, and I just feel pressure that I'm getting behind or I'm not doing enough. So it helps me more so just to have these blocks of time. So the first thing I like to do when I'm getting started is to actually list out what all my requirements are for the week. So any curriculum that we need to cover, any special activities I want to do, any extras. So that helps me actually visualize what it is we need to do from a school perspective. Then other activities I like to include outside our traditional curriculums are French and piano. We started these some last year, and it was mostly just Elena, my oldest daughter, doing it. But this year I want to pick it up and really include Adeline. We found a great resource just for free YouTube piano lessons where you can use a keyboard, which we have. So I like to schedule that time in for the week. And then it's also important to me to introduce French. The girls are really interested in French. So we're going to do more of that this year. Got some great resources and a monthly program that we get delivered that I really like. And I'll do a separate video about that later. But again, I just want to make sure that I'm putting time in for those things. And then also this year, since we're not doing a science tutorial or art class, I want to make sure that I have scheduled time for the science activities and art projects. In the past, again, if I get behind or things get hectic, those are the things that tend to fall aside for me. And I don't want that to happen this year. So I think it's going to help. I can actually have a day of the week that I know is set aside for those activities. I think that's going to really help us stay on track with that. I also want to list out any extracurriculars that the girls have. Usually we have more than we do now, where we're not doing theater and other activities right now either, but we are still doing gymnastics. Gymnastics are really important to my girls. They're wanting to compete. So I'm going to build in more structure around that activity than I've done in the past. And I want to make sure we're including, their conditioning that they need to do every day and some practice at home, as well as, making sure I'm planning for the days that they have practice. Then also, honestly, part of scheduling homeschool is still making sure that I have time to do the other things that I need to do. So I do also like to list those out here as well. So whether that's just kind of mundane things like cleaning the house, I like to have an idea of when I'm going to be doing that. I'll typically do, like a big clean, or not necessarily a deep clean, but like a bigger clean where I mop and things like that once a week. And then of course I pick up and do light cleaning throughout the week. But if I have an idea of when I'm going to do those things, it helps me stay on track, as well as meal planning and meal prepping. If I have an idea and a certain day I'm going to do those, I'm much more likely to stick with it. And of course, right now, I know a lot of people are still having to work while they're homeschooling at home. Of course, that's its own set of challenges. But even for me, obviously I do YouTube, like this video right now. So I want to make sure that I'm also including time where I'm going to be able to, film and edit a video. Again, it's not set in stone. At least I have an idea of what my week is going to look like heading into it. Then I also want to include any extras that I want to do. So for example, I want to include outside time. And if it's something that I don't really have on the schedule, it's easy for that to sometimes get missed for us, because my girls are so happy just sitting inside and reading with me and doing arts and crafts. But it's important for me that we get outside and we make more of an effort to do more nature-related things. I've done nature journals in the past, and it's one of those things where we go really hardcore at the beginning, we're so excited, and then it just tapers off. So I want to make sure that I'm building in time that I know we are going to go outside, whether it's just playing in the backyard, riding bikes, going to a park, drawing something in nature. I just want to make sure that that time's included. So for us, we have found that doing most of our readings in the morning works really well for us. Usually my daughters will sit still and they'll listen and do all the readings in one chunk. So we've been able to do most of the curriculum in a day in the past. Now, I don't know that I'm going to be able to do that for level 2 this year. I'm anticipating that, perhaps the material will be a little bit more dense or a little longer. So I'm going to build 2 days in for that right now, at least again for the first month, and I'll see how that goes and if we need to tweak it at all. But that's my thought right now, is that kindergarten can still be one morning for just the readings and then 2 days for level 2. And in the morning, my 2-year-old is usually willing to sit for a little bit or go and play independently. She's in a pretty good mood. So that's the time that I feel like we can really take advantage of doing the bulk of the readings. But for English and math, it's almost impossible for us to do those when my youngest daughter is awake. Our programs have a lot of manipulatives in them. We're on the ground, we're moving stuff around and playing games, and they really need to be able to focus for English and math. So I have found when she's napping, that's the time when I can really do those curriculums. But in the past, it's just been Elena, and Adeline will also have been napping. So this year I'm trying to figure out what that's going to look like with Adeline and Elena. And right now I'm thinking that I will try to maybe alternate them. And I've got some workbooks, which my girls love workbooks. And you can find them really cheap on Book Outlet. I've talked about that in the past. That's where we get most of our books. Well, I've gotten quite a few from there, and I think what I'm going to do is just give one girl a workbook to be doing while I'm focusing on teaching the other one, because our curriculums are very parent intensive, so I need to be focused and hands-on with them, and then I'll switch off and let the other one do the workbook. And since they enjoy those so much, I think it's going to go really well. Again, I'm going to see, but that is my plan for now. And if that's something you want to do, I have a link and I'll put it down below where you can get $10 off your first Book Outlet order. So that might be something you want to look into as well. But you can get, huge curriculum books for $4 or $5 there. So if that's something that your child will use, that could be a really good tool if you're trying to do multiple children as well. So after I've listed out all the things that I want to do during the week, I want to start breaking them out by what day of the week I think I can do them. Now, I have found what works really well for us is keeping Friday blank. I really like doing that because it's allowed us just some breathing room and the ability to catch up. So I don't schedule any official Torchlight or math and English lessons on that day. That's going to be the day where we're going to have more fun. If there are some just activities we want to do, we'll do those then. If we've gotten behind because something came up, maybe Emmeline was super cranky that day and I just wasn't able to get something done, or everyone was fighting, or I was just having a bad day, or whatever it is. This gives me that day just to know I've got this, I can catch up, it'll be fine, we have Friday. And then if we don't have anything to catch up on, I like designating Friday as more of our field trip day or special activities with friends, and along those lines. So it's just a fun extra day to have in our schedule. The next thing is to actually start breaking it down into the chunks of time. And what makes most sense for us is to do most of the reading at the beginning of the week. That way any activities will make sense since they tie back to the reading when we do them later in the week. Then assigning a specific day for art projects and science projects. It's going to help me just get my head around having all the materials ready. They're set in a basket and we're going first thing in the morning to get down there and do all these activities. Okay. So Monday morning, I know is going to be Elena Torchlight. Nope, wrong kid. It's going to be Adeline Torchlight. Then Tuesday and Wednesday, I'm going to schedule Elena Torchlight, and we're going to see if it takes both of those days. Then I'm going to have Thursday be our experiment day, experiment or activities. Anything from the program itself will be there. Friday is our just extra, whatever we need to do. Works best is from a learning perspective in the morning and afternoon for us. But then I also do want to get a general idea of, playtime outside, playtime inside, snacks, anything else that I think we need to do during the day to see how it's all going to lay out. Now in the afternoon, I'm going to have math and English for both girls. And that's going to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Then I know we're going to have gymnastics for both girls. Then I think Friday afternoon, I think that will be a good time to do French, since it's our day off and it won't take very long. If we did miss something, we can still pick it up on Friday. This day, since it's just Elena doing Torchlight and it's 2 days in a row, I think we probably won't have as much, and it'll be nice for Adeline to have something to do. So I think we'll also do piano on this morning as well. Outside nature journal, that is definitely going to be Friday. But if we do have something special planned, then I think we'll move that to Thursday as a backup. After gymnastics, I'm going to try to send them outside either to play on the play set or ride bikes. And my goal is to do that every day, but we'll see how that goes. After we've done our reading, we'll do our snack. And that's when we'll do our educational videos. That'll be all week. Then while they're having free play, again, that's looking at around that 10 to 11 time-ish, 10 to 11-ish. I'm going to do my cleaning. And I will probably do deep clean on Thursday, or bigger clean, not a deep clean, but a bigger clean since we've just done our experiments and activities. If there's any mess, that makes sense. I like going into the weekend having the house more clean. I like to do my meal planning on Friday so that I can shop on Saturday, prep on Sunday. So probably makes more sense for me to try to do that in the morning during breakfast. I don't want to do too much or lock myself in too much, so I want to make sure that there's a good balance from day to day here. So after I have a pretty good idea of what I think each of our days are going to look like, I want to start actually planning out our first month. So we're going to start the last week of August for our homeschool. But as far as from a monthly calendar, I'm going to start with September in my planner. So here's where I'll put anything like practice or field trips or outings that we have planned. Now, again, I don't think I'm going to use this quite as much as I have in the past because we're just not doing as much outside the house as we've done in the past. Like I said in my tips for starting homeschool, one of the things that is important to me is still make sure we have socialization, even if it looks different this year. So I do have a close group of friends that also homeschool with children similar age as mine. And we have already laid out what we think we're going to do for the year. And we're going to try to do at least one big activity each month. So I want to go ahead and put that in the calendar for that month. And we're going to rotate who hosts it and what it's going to be. For September, we're doing a book report type project where the children are going to be able to dress up as a character and share their favorite book with everyone else. And, you know, it just depends if we're going to do that in Zoom or in person with social distancing. You know, we're kind of just playing that by ear, seeing how everything goes. But most of the things we've planned can be done either remotely or in person. But we have things like the book report, science projects, we have holiday specific things, just trying to have fun with it. But if we do have anything else that I need to be aware of for the month, I'll put it down here so I can easily see it. For our weekly planner, I want to plug in specifically curriculum related activities here. That way, like I said in my planner video, I like having a full record. If for any reason I'm ever asked or I need to show it, this is what we did, you know, educationally for the year. This is a record of all of our homeschool stuff. For this year, since I do have 2 children, I've laid this out with each of them with their Torchlight, English, and math. And I like to include specifically what they're going to be reading or what lesson they're going to be on for each of the things for each day of the week. That way I make sure I'm staying on track, especially when you have multiple curriculum and multiple children. It's so easy to get off on like what lesson is with who and what. It can just be a lot. So I like having this here. I can easily flip back and see it. But again, going a month at a time, using these erasable pens, I'm able to make changes as I need to going through. So I like to do all the different subjects in a different marker color, again, so I can just easily, quickly look down and know what goes with what. But I will forget as I'm doing this what I have assigned. So I always do this little cheat sheet at the top of my notebook just so I remember what it is I'm actually writing about for each of these things. The easiest things to do are math and English. So I'll take RightStart Math A, which is Adeline, and RightStart is so easy because the lessons are just 1, 2, 3, so they're easy to record that way. And the lessons are so quick that I do 1 a day, so I'm good with doing that. And I'm gonna leave Friday blank, which I forgot what I was doing. So there we go. Typically put if it's a review or assessment, but those are just pretty basic at this point. Then I do like to look and just see if they're going to include anything that I need to get. So in lesson 3, it says I need various containers of objects for sorting. And if it's something I need that's not included, it will be in bold. But that is something that I like to know here that I do need. So at the beginning of the week, I'll know to make sure to get that. We'll go to Elena with RightStart C. So again, it's also listed out with lesson numbers that are gonna make it pretty easy to do. And I just wanna take a quick look. I'm assuming that I'm also gonna do all of these in one day, but I just do wanna double check. And yeah, these are all look super quick as well. So we will stick to doing 1 lesson a day. So for Adeline, it will will be level A. I did this with Elena. I did a full lesson a day. So I am going to try to do that again with Adeline. Then I'm going to see if there's anything else I'm going to need. Now, for some of these, like the toy car, that's included so many times in the curriculum that in my box of English, I'll actually just include a car. So I know I always have like that and some of the other little pieces. 3, it says I do need a toy ball or toy animals. I do have a ball already in the box, but I'll need some animals, it looks like. Foundation D for Elena. So I want to look again at these and see if I'm going to be able to do them all in one day. Let's see. This looks like a lot because Elena is much farther along in reading. I'm going to try to do a full lesson a day because I want to try to get done with D by the end of December. That goes. If I need to, then I might go back and split the lessons into 2 days each. But at least for the first month, I'm going to try this and see how it goes. So here's what I'm going to try to put some of Torchlight for Adeline down. So on Friday is when I'm also going to do the cooking activity for Adeline. I think that'll be a good thing for us to do. As far as any activities, it looks like we do have the map activity this week. So that's going to be the only one. So I want to go ahead and note that just so I can be prepared. I like to flip through and see if there's any shows that we need to watch, so that I can make sure that I have those for the day. And it doesn't look like there is for this week, so I don't need to write that. Then we're going to go to Elena's level 2. So just looking at the pages, like there's 2 labs, science. So I do want to at least start with doing this for 2 days for sure. I'm doing that on Monday, I'm doing that on Tuesday, so I'll have to erase that. Chapter book is Ingrain the Brave, so I do want to note that. So for Elena, I also want to make sure that we're doing our poetry. My activities, and here's where I'm going to put, I want to put any of the science or any intense arts and crafts that I need to be prepared for. And like I said, I'm going to try to do those on Thursday. It doesn't look like Adeline's had any this week, so now I need to look at Elena's. That looks like it has 2 energy labs. Then for the labs, it will tell me the materials we need, so I want to go ahead and have those done. On Friday, I'll also do Elena's Curiosity Chronicle activity book. Since we don't have anything else that afternoon except French, I think that'll be a good time for her to work on that. this is my first week. I just want to make sure I got everything that I needed to do on here. So Torchlight, Math and English, Art and Science on Thursday. Extras, we have French, piano, nature. I'll do learning videos at snack time. We have gymnastics. And I have an idea of when I'll be doing my things. And there's just a general idea to help me with my head around the days. And I'm just gonna go ahead and note here the days I wanna try to do my stuff. It's good for my first week. Now I might go back and start adding in some more science activities, but I want to see how this goes first before I really add in anything extra to this. My first month planned out, and I'm feeling pretty good about what I've come up with. I have a good idea of what our days are going to look like throughout the week, and I'm feeling comfortable that we have enough, but I have enough time to get everything in, and I think this is going to work out well. And if it doesn't, I'll just change it for next month, but I'll make sure to do another video going into October. Well, I'll go through and look and see what's been happening with us and if I feel like I need to make any changes. Hopefully this was helpful and you enjoyed seeing me actually plan out my schedule in real time with you guys. If you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe to my channel down below. A lot more of these type of videos coming out. And I also have a homeschool playlist where I talk about all of our curriculum tips, different things I use. So make sure to check that out. If you found this helpful, give the video a thumbs up. Leave me any questions or comments down below and I will try to answer as many of those as I can. Bye everyone.